Rausch Games! Hello, and welcome back to Rausch Games here on YouTube, and welcome to NXT, your Tuesday night home of the up-and-coming future superstars of the WWE and the unfortunate few who end up being demoted from the major roster. We've got 5 big matches coming to you. We are live from the Bridgestone Arena once again in Nashville, Tennessee. It seems that our WWE tour bus just is stuck on the same route around these continental United States. What I wouldn't give for a stop in Philadelphia to see my family again, but it's okay. We're in Tennessee one more time. Got a nice crowd of just over 10,000 here for NXT. Not quite as many coming out for the B team here, but a lot of that can be attributed to Stephanie McMahon not knowing how to book a friggin' match. We've got 5 of them here tonight, though, regardless of the booking, and we're leading off with Curtis Axel taking on Luke Harper of the Wyatt family, who has chosen to wear trunks tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is true that if I have superstars with multiple attires, I tend to set them to random to give it more of a real, I like to change my clothes in real life feel. And that appears to be the case here, even though Harper obviously would not wear trunks. He has chosen to, in this universe mode, huge clothesline from Axel. We'll also see our NXT Women's Champion, Oksana. She's coming out in action later on tonight. She'll be taking on Layla in a non-title match. That'll be right up next. We will yet again see the Rausch and Wade Barrett continuing their little bit of a rivalry. We last saw the Rausch on our IWC programming last week. He was just having a little bit of an interview with Renee Young. As Luke Harper is just dominating Curtis Axel here. Axel has no chance in this matchup. Just running away from the much larger Luke Harper. The Rausch just seemed happy that he ended up getting a submission match against Wade Barrett last week, evening the score between the two of them since Barrett beat him 2 weeks ago, our first NXT after the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Later on, we will have Mark Henry and Big John Studd taking each other on again. The word from the locker room is that Mark Henry never did catch up to Adeceve after he was having dinner by himself last Friday night, and we caught video of it. He did not catch up with Adeceve. We don't have to worry about her safety at all. But the word on the grapevine is that she is officially linked to Mark Henry as his business manager. We don't know quite what the relationship between Adeceve and Big John Studd was when it was at its peak, but we do know that last week, again, Axel escaping from the ring here, we do know that last week she abandoned Big John Studd in favor of Mark Henry and came to the ring and sat in Henry's corner and helped him win the match against Big John Studd, considering that Big John Studd won the week earlier by destroying the ring and everybody in it. After that match, after seeing him destroy the ring, that's when Adeceve came out and escorted him to the back. We don't know if they were actually romantically linked. It appears, according to Big John Studd's reaction, that they had to have been, or it was just a manager relationship that got taken out of hand by Big John Studd. But either way, we will see Studd and Henry taking each other on one more time tonight, and Mark Henry will be managed by Adeceve. Oh, Curtis Axel is just dying in this match right now. Another big spine buster from Luke Harper. Axel is completely overmatched without the jeans and the wife beater on. Harper just looks unbeatable. And Axel just needs to run away here. But there he's got Harper from behind, and there's a Russian leg sweep. We're still on the outside. The ref is still counting. Axel makes his way back up into the ring. This is not a Falls Count Anywhere match. The falls must occur in the ring. And there's a big belly-to-belly from Axel. Then our main event tonight, NXT Champion The Miz taking on Zack Ryder. It's a match that they booked independently of Stephanie McMahon on IWC in a little segment backstage. The Miz was laying on a couch backstage in what looked like General Manager Stephanie McMahon's office. Oh, there's a leverage pin. Oh, but Axel does get out. He was on a couch backstage, and it looked like... Oh, no, we got a pin here. 1, 2... Oh, Curtis Axel does just kick out at 2 there. He was kind of recounting his future as NXT champion and eventually being called up to WWE after WrestleMania next year. And Zack Ryder overheard the conversation and reminded him he'd have to get through Ryder first, and Miz and Ryder kind of equally agreed that they would have a match tonight here on NXT. just to put their money where their mouth is. They've got a match at our NXT Over the Limit pay-per-view that will be next Sunday evening. We've only got one more NXT to get through before then, and they'll be taking each other on for the title. But they're going to have one more competitive match here just to see who gets an advantage heading into that pay-per-view. And Harper just hammering into the head of Curtis Axel here. Axel has managed to stay alive in this match by getting out of the ring and evading Harper, but when it comes to just causing damage to your opponent, it's been all Luke Harper, and you have to think that him wearing just the trunks here tonight is really helping him out. We haven't seen much from Harper in singles. We did see himself and Eric Rowan take apart El Guapo Diablo in week 1 of NXT programming. Oh, and Curtis Axel taps out to the abdominal stretch. That's going to end our first match here. Luke Harper gets a big win in singles competition. That is huge for him moving forward. Curtis Axel loses yet again here to open up an episode of NXT, this time yet again in Nashville, the Bridgestone Arena. We're going to come right back. 4 matches left, guys. We're going to get into some ladies action coming right up. We got a champion making her way out to the ring after this commercial break. We're going to watch Luke Harper get the pin one more time there. There it is, Axel getting the kick out. And then we come into that abdominal stretch eventually. A lot of replays for this opening match. Not a whole lot of intrigue, though. Neither of these men doing all that much here in NXT so far. There's that abdominal stretch. There's the leverage. And there is the victory for Luke Harper in his black trunks. And that's a victory for the Wyatt family, however you want to throw it up here, ladies and gentlemen. But we will be right back. Stay tuned. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're back in the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. Just over 10,000 fans here to see the stars of tomorrow for NXT on Tuesday night. We've got the NXT Women's Champion Oksana taking on, actually, Summer Rae. Before we went away to commercial break, I had mentioned earlier in our last match between Luke Harper and Curtis Axel that the champion Oksana would be taking on Layla in this match. But in yet another bit of Stephanie McMahon's booking prowess genius, not so much, we've had an immediate change to the match card that was posted online, and Layla is out, Summer Rae is in. And this is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. If we go back to before our Extreme Rules pay-per-view here in NXT, we're talking just about a month ago, Adeceve, Summer Rae, and Layla were in a triple threat match. Summer Rae ends up winning the match. The next week at the pay-per-view, of all people, Adeceve gets a title match against Oksana for the gigantic pink belt that just looks way too big on Oksana. It takes up her entire midsection. Adeceve gets that match, and Summer Rae and Layla are left to fight each other at the pay-per-view in a one-on-one match, a grudge match, because they both, either one, should have been number 1 contender over Adeceve, the complete rookie in NXT, who just did nothing with the title shot, looked terrible in the match, and is pretty much now just lending herself out to managing Mark Henry. Layla was booked for this match. It's a non-title match against Oksana. The title is not on the line, but Layla was initially booked, and heading into the Over the Limit pay-per-view, it was widely presumed that Layla had been given the number 1 contender shot that Adeceve wasted last month. And now, with Summer Rae replacing Layla, it's not a guarantee that there is a number 1 contender at this moment in time for the big pink NXT belt. We don't know if Stephanie McMahon has a better plan for everything here or not. We do know that Oksana is still the champion and has yet to lose a match here in NXT. I mean, she's been pretty much unstoppable in all of her affairs out here. Then again, she's pretty much only been fighting Adeceve so far, and Adeceve needs to learn a lot about hitting aerial finishing moves. But Summer Rae has won matches here at NXT. She looks great. She is the mistress of Fandango, who himself hasn't had much success, so she doesn't need to worry about managing him for her career, and she can put all of her effort into pursuing the NXT Women's Championship. And if she was just gifted a number 1 contender spot by having it stripped away from Layla for no apparent reason, she will take that and she will run with it, as she is in this match. Look at this nice over-the-back headlock from Summer Rae. That was an incredible little maneuver from her. There's Oksana with an arm drag, though, sending her challenger down. Like I said, Oksana has not really been tested as the champion here. But if you're telling me there's going to be a match between these two women, Summer Rae and Oksana, for that NXT Women's Championship at Over the Limit, I think we may have a changing of the guard in the women's division here. I think Layla is sitting backstage seething right now. And if Summer Rae makes it to Over the Limit without any kind of bodily harm being, done to her by somebody backstage, that'll be huge. Oh, there's that spinning heel kick from Summer Rae. That's her finisher. 1, 2. Ooh, the champion does indeed kick out there, but it was close. Summer Rae really taking control. And you have to wonder what would have happened if this was Layla out here. If Oksana would look just as vulnerable, or if it's really just that Summer Rae has all the NXT women's numbers, and she will be making short work of them on her way up to the main roster. We don't really know. We don't know if she would even consider leaving Fandango down here to fend for himself. Oh, and there's a huge enziguri from Oksana to Summer Rae. Summer Rae looks like she's been knocked out cold. We've seen that move done to Adeceve countless times. 1, Summer Rae kicks out, and she runs at Oksana, twisting the arm around now. But Oksana works her way out into a nice hip toss. Great athletic maneuver there. This match is picking up, and the crowd is definitely getting behind it. You just don't see women's wrestling like this anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Summer Rae taking it to her on the mat, lifts her up, but Oksana rakes the eyes of Summer Rae out of view of the ref, and Summer Rae with a jab and a side kick into a front headlock. Big body slam from Summer Rae, and now Summer Rae is pumped up. She knows she has the champion right where she wants her, but she's a little too pumped up. There we go. She steps over into the leg drop. We've seen that before from Summer Rae as well. And she's going to pick Oksana up. And there's one more spinning heel kick, Chuck Norris style. Oksana looks like she had a tooth knocked out there. She may not be looking so pretty anymore. Pinfall, rope break. Summer Rae did not pull her away from the ropes, and the match will continue. Oksana with the knee to the chest. Runs at her with a big-time clothesline. And now Oksana is the one who's fired up, and Summer Rae is the one struggling to get to her feet. Oksana's got the crowd behind her. Summer Rae is up into a big spine buster. Oksana lays her out. Summer Rae is sprawled. Oksana's going to waste some time dragging her toward the center of the ring, though. Summer Rae may recover here. Pinfall. 1, 2. Oh, Summer Rae kicks out at 2. This match is going to continue, ladies and gentlemen. Oksana now twisting the arm around into a snapmare, and she's got the headlock locked in, and Summer Rae can't get to the ropes from here. She's long and slender, but she can't get to the bottom rope, and Summer Rae does indeed have to tap out. She may still be feeling the effects of that big-time spine buster, but either way, Oksana does get the win here. The champion remains undefeated in NXT, but that is not to say she was not tested in this match by Summer Rae, and the fact that Stephanie McMahon chose all willy-nilly right before the match to throw Summer Rae into this, well, that says something, and we may have a really interesting and entertaining match stacking up for our Over the Limit pay-per-view, or the NXT Women's Championship could be completely ignored at Over the Limit. You never know, because Stephanie McMahon is a crazy woman when it comes to booking. Either way, though, very exciting second match here tonight. We will have 3 more coming up. We're going to move right into the Rausch and Heath Slater in an Extreme Rules match, kind of the middle ground between the two of their styles. We'll finish up with Mark Henry taking on Big John Studd, and then we will have one more Miz, Zack Ryder, non-title, but they are heating up for that pay-per-view match, guys. We will be right back. Oh, and here is Heath Slater attacking the Rausch from behind. Dirty tactics from Heath Slater here, but we kind of knew this was coming. Basically what we've had here, we're going to look at the history of this match between these two. The Rausch really did not have anything big going on last month. It was his first month here in NXT. He had a couple of tag team matches against El Guapo Diablo. They put on a pretty cool rivalry for 2 rookies here. Big super kick from the Rausch. We know he likes to use those against Barrett Slater. Why would I say Barrett? He's on the main roster. But moving into this month, Heath Slater, all kinds of embarrassed within his stable, his trio, the 3-man band. His reputation has been demolished beyond repair by his teammate and former friend. Big time uppercut from the Rausch on the outside. I love it. The match hasn't even started yet, but it is Extreme Rules. And there's a crutch from the Rausch, but he misses. And he hits Slater with it anyway. There we go. No disqualification for it. Slater, coming into this month after the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, has everything to prove in NXT. He's been demoted from the leadership position within 3MB. Drew McIntyre stole that from him through beating him in a match. Not something you see every day from teammates. They're fighting over a crutch outside of the ring here, ladies and gentlemen, as well. So Heath Slater, coming into this month, decided to pick a fight with the Rausch, an unproven rookie. They are, oh, Jesus. The Rausch is going to run away with the crutch, and he throws the crutch away. And now he runs at Slater, and he stomps on him while he's grabbing a weapon. So Slater comes into this looking for a few cheap wins to build up his reputation again, to satisfy his ego that now that it had been destroyed by his former friend and still business partner, Drew McIntyre. And instead, Rausch puts up a good fight. The first week, it was a one-on-one match, and Heath Slater did indeed beat the Rausch. It was a good back-and-forth match, and the Rausch proved that he wasn't just, a run-of-the-mill rookie here in NXT. Last week, Stephanie McMahon decided to book them in a submission match. The Rausch proved to the world that submissions are his forte. He is all about submission holds. He is a sub-pro, if you will. And Heath Slater was left embarrassed after losing last week. The camel clutch, a big factor in that match as well. It's been pretty trendy here in the WWE Universe recently. Huge enziguri from the Rausch to Heath Slater. Elbow drop to the small in the back there. So coming into this match, Heath Slater would love a win. It is Extreme Rules. Things can get out of hand here. I'm not sure why Stephanie McMahon booked an Extreme Rules match. These two don't really dislike each other. But Heath Slater is probably going to use every weapon he can get his hands on to show this crowd that he means business, taking back, his ego essentially. And the Rausch, big-time guillotine leg drop. And he doesn't care what Heath Slater wants in this match. He's going to make this match his own. Now the match officially starts, and we're going to start it with the V2 from the Rausch. The inverted vertebreaker right on the back of the neck. And Rausch is fired up. Slater staggering to his feet. Rausch spins him around. Back fist. Back fist. And he's going to load him up on his shoulders. We've got that Brockengespenst down on the top of his head. And the Rausch is going to drag him away from the ropes here now that the match is underway. Roll him over for the pin. 1, 2. Oh, Heath Slater does kick out at 2, though. And there's another big enziguri from the Rausch. And wait a minute. Rausch is heading up top from the top rope. Big time headbutt. Misses. And now Slater with an elbow. Going to get out of the ring. No doubt looking for another weapon. Rausch to the ropes. Diving body attack. Unbelievable. Takes out Slater but hurts himself in the process as well. He just missed on a big diving headbutt. And now he kind of botches a little Sin Cara-esque body press to the outside. Slater still standing. Rausch is definitely in some pain now. That was a high-risk, low-reward maneuver, and he decided to go with it anyway. But he's up on his feet. They're both back in the ring. Twist the arm of Slater around. Slater reversing into a nice hip toss there. Good athleticism from the West Virginian. But there's a big European uppercut from the Rausch, and he's just going to stomp on Slater while he's down. Stomp to the gut, off the ropes. Big boot to the face of Heath Slater. And now Rausch kicks him in the gut and rolls him over. And Rausch, yet again, fired up. He's got the advantage again. Hit that Brockengespenst nice and early. And now running around from behind. There is a German suplex. Nice wraparound there from the Rausch. And Rausch has Slater up. Front headlock. Slater reversing into a Russian leg sweep. And Slater up on his feet now. Going to roll out of the ring. He wants another weapon. He wants this to be a true Extreme Rules. Rausch from the apron. Off the second rope. Misses a dropkick, barely grazes Slater, and the Rausch is yet again hurting. He's got to stop with those high-risk maneuvers, or he's going to lose the match. Slater won't win it. Rausch will lose it. There's a big elbow to the forehead from Heath Slater, and he has a baseball bat out there. Off the top rope! Oh, but the Rausch does get out of the way, and yet again is fired up, ladies and gentlemen. Rausch now picking Heath Slater up. And he's got a clothesline there. And he's got a second clothesline to Heath Slater. And off the rope, big time enziguri. And the Rausch is back in this, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to pick Heath Slater up here. And one more time, he wraps the arms around. He's going to stack him up. And this is another V2 right on the back of the head. Crazy move from the Rausch there. And now Slater just looks dead. But he reverses. Into the ropes goes the Rausch. And there's a big flapjack from Heath Slater, lifting him up by one knee, using the Rausch's own momentum against him. And Slater to the outside. The Rausch whiffs on an enziguri, thought he was still in the ring. But Slater bringing his neck down into the ropes there. And Rausch from behind spins Slater around. But Slater, kick to the gut, gets his way out of it. And now approaching the Rausch, another kick to the gut. Got him spun around, and that's that reverse something. Backbreaker, whatever you call Slater's finisher. 1, 2, 3. Heath Slater gets a big win over the Rausch. Surprised him with the finisher as the Rausch was going for one more Brockengespenst. Didn't quite hit it, and that puts Slater up 2-1 this month over the Rausch. The Extreme Rules, not really a hindrance at all, but the Rausch Big rookie mistake there. Took one too many falls of his own accord. Too many high-impact maneuvers trying to impress the crowd here and get him behind him. He's probably not going to be too angry after this match, ladies and gentlemen, but Heath Slater is probably also not done with him. We have to see what happens between these two moving forward. But now Slater, in all of his Slaterness, is probably going to be really happy with the finish to that match, and he's going to rock out here. We've got two more coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. Turn away from Heath Slater. Nobody wants to see him celebrate. Mark Henry, Big John Studd coming up next. And here's Mark Henry in the ring. The arena's dark. We hear Big John Studd's music playing. You won't, of course. And wait, Studd from behind. He was hiding under the announcer's table. And match number 4 is officially under the way. Big John Studd, Mark Henry, Adeceve in Mark Henry's corner. And Studd has Henry up immediately into a bear hug. But it's going to take a lot more to get the big man to tap than that. Studd is an angry man. The last time we saw him, he was eating a depressing meal by himself in a schwanky restaurant. And he was having a conversation with himself about getting Adeceve back, not letting her go. He has some sort of strong romantic tie to this NXT rookie that took an interest in him 2 weeks ago and then apparently dumped him last week in favor of Mark Henry. It has now been revealed that she is indeed acting as Mark Henry's manager. They have nothing more than a business relationship, and we know why Henry and Studd are after each other in the first place. I don't think I have to say it again, but I'm going to for purposes of filling airtime here, ladies and gentlemen. Last month, this time, Big John Studd was your NXT champion, but his validity as champion was very much in dispute, mainly by 3 of NXT's top competitors, Sin Cara, The Miz, and Mark Henry. Heading into our Extreme Rules pay-per-view down here in NXT, it was anyone's guess who the number 1 contender would end up being, much like it is currently with the Women's Championship. And it ended up being The Miz getting a title shot, The Miz capitalizing, The Miz becoming NXT champion at Extreme Rules weeks ago. While Sin Cara and Mark Henry were not very happy about it. We haven't seen Sin Cara since the NXT after Extreme Rules, when he lost to The Miz in a non-title match. But Mark Henry, instead of taking out his anger on the current champion, went after the guy who he thought he should have beat for the title and has been going after him all month. Their first match 2 weeks ago, they broke the ring after a superplex from Big John Studd to Mark Henry. It was our 4th match of the night. We had to take an extended break to get the ring put back together to a level that OSHA was okay with. And after that match, after Studd emerged from the wreckage of the ring, he's leaving, and Adeceve comes down and takes an interest in him. Wait, Mark Henry with a powerbomb. No! Big John Studd into a facebuster. He's going to get back into this match here, ladies and gentlemen. Coming out fired up right into that bear hug to start. So Adeceve escorts Big John Studd to the back, and the next time we see either of them is the next week in another match between Studd and Henry. That was last week here on NXT, and instead of coming out with Big John Studd, she came out during the match as a surprise manager and stood in Mark Henry's corner, not explaining anything to Big John Studd, but distracting the referee enough to cost him the match and giving Mark Henry a win. So they have another one-on-one match here, and now Adeceve, acting as the official manager of Mark Henry, is down in his corner, and Big John Studd very, very angry. Sneak attack to Mark Henry to start the match, but there's Adeceve working her magic outside too. We saw her distracting the ref a few moments ago, trying to take her mind off the fact that Henry is just dominating Studd in the corner and under the ropes here. Punches from Mark Henry, but Big John Studd with a nice block into a reversal. And now from a side headlock, Henry slams the knee and the head down, getting all 3 ropes on the way down. That one's got to hurt. And there's Henry, and he's got Big John Studd up in a humongous gorilla press into a power slam. And Big John Studd coming down hard from the world's strongest man there. Henry is going to drag him toward the center of the ring. And Henry with the pin. 1, 2. Oh, Big John Studd gets a kick out, but it's at 2. Almost losing it there. Now working from behind on Henry. There's Studd with a big-time back suplex. Studd has spent the last few days since we saw him on our IWC programming on Saturday. He's not a very happy man. He's been stewing, apparently. Nobody has seen him since we got that gorilla footage of him out to dinner. But he comes into this match fired up. He's wearing new pants. He's apparently trying to redefine himself in the wake of losing who he perceived to be his girlfriend. And now Mark Henry has Big John Studd up. all the way up into a World's Strongest Slam, and now Stud is down, and this could be your match, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Big John Studd, kick out at 1. Henry follows it up with a punch like I have never seen before. And we've got a collar and elbow tie up now in the center of the ring, and Henry comes out twisting the arm of Stud around, and there's a snapmare, and he's got the surfboard stretched, but Stud's foot was at the ropes, and he easily gets it. That's what happens when you're 6'10". And now Henry, with more punches and clubs, finishes it up with a headbutt, and Stud is down and out. Henry once again dragging him toward the center of the ring. Adeceve watching on. 1, 2, 3. Mark Henry with the big-time win over Big John Studd. That's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks without Adeceve. 2 weeks with a broken heart. And the big, dumb lummox who lost the NXT Championship to The Miz, famous for looking for his car keys and deciding to come back to the ring after leaving. Oh, it feels like so long ago, guys. He loses again here, and Mark Henry's building up a head of steam, but this is quickly becoming a grudge match. Mark Henry still not happy about being knocked unconscious in the broken ring 2 weeks ago here on NXT. Henry gets another win. Adeceve looks like she's making smart business moves and picking the right person to partner her own personality with. And now Henry and Adeceve are going to head back stage together, victorious. There's Adeceve looking after her client, helping him after a big, hard-fought match, and they're going to celebrate in the ring together, guys. Don't go anywhere. We've got a main event coming up. NXT champ The Miz and Zack Ryder one-on-one. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, match number 5 from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. This is our second week in May 2014. We are just 1 week and change away from the NXT Over the Limit pay-per-view, where these two, Zack Ryder and The Miz, will square off for the NXT Championship that The Miz currently holds. He won it last month at Extreme Rules, taking it from Big John Studd, the most incompetent champion anyone has ever seen in the history of champions of anything. And here, it looks like Ryder and Miz have been much more evenly matched so far this month. They've had a pretty nice little rivalry. They agreed to another match here tonight. They agreed to it on our IWC program. The Miz appeared to be backstage in Stephanie McMahon's office. Some of the message boards came alive this week after seeing that video, wondering if The Miz is potentially influencing her horrifyingly bad booking decisions. No word on that, as she was not present in the office at the time of the video. Just The Miz on a couch with a title, and Zack Ryder coming in, asking him what the hell he was doing. There's a blocked punch from Ryder. They're going to put on an exciting match at Over the Limit no matter what, and we know that there will be a title match. We just don't know if there will be a stipulation attached or not at this point. We have yet to figure that one out, and that is going to be Stephanie McMahon. And considering she changed matches during the broadcast of the pay-per-view last month at Extreme Rules, we're pretty sure she'd do it again. Big back body drop from The Miz to Zack Ryder. And there's a big elbow drop from him as well. And he's going to rub the face of Zack with the bottom of his foot one more time. Ultimate sign of disrespect. Kick Zack Ryder off. But there's Ryder with a big-time flapjack, sending The Miz into the ropes along the outside there. There's a kick to the back from The Miz. Little Charlie horse for Zack Ryder there. And The Miz goes into a Russian leg sweep. We continue on. Now with Zack Ryder down, The Miz punches to the face. Miz in this match trying to prove why he deserves to be the champion. Yes, he beat Big John Studd, but that's like saying, you know, I got out of bed and I walked this morning. Like, it's living for a professional wrestler to be able to beat Big John Studd. The man can't put his own pants on half the time. He needs a real challenge at a real pay-per-view to prove that he is a deserved NXT champion, to get the fans off his case, telling him he doesn't deserve the belt, telling him they don't want him to have it anymore. Well, there's a nice kip up from Zack Ryder. Miz into a float-over neckbreaker there. And he needs a real signature victory. And while Zack Ryder in WWE may not provide a real signature victory, down here in NXT, he's good competition for The Miz. They match up really well, as they have been in these matches recently. And Miz with a schoolboy. And Zack Ryder does indeed kick out. And now Zack Ryder twisting the arm around. And we don't need to tell you why Zack Ryder wants to come out on top in this particular rivalry. Everybody wants to be the NXT champion. If you're the internet champion, which Zack Ryder was until he lost to Brodus Clay at Extreme Rules, then you don't have a guaranteed shot at getting to the main roster with that belt. It provides a lottery ticket that you can cash in up to 4 times a year. But in order to cash in, you've got to take on a superstar from that next level up, from either Raw or from SmackDown. It's not a guarantee. The NXT Championship is a guaranteed one-way ticket to the main roster. Whoever holds that belt after Raw and SmackDown have WrestleMania weekend next year will automatically be added to one of those two rosters. It is an instant promotion. Yes, you have to be the champion come WrestleMania, and for the Miz right here, that is a tall order because we are very far away from WrestleMania. There's a pin from Ryder, but Miz is in the ropes. It's just the most beneficial title to hold here in NXT. And now Ryder hopping out of the ropes. We've got Miz and Ryder on the outside again. And Ryder sends Miz into the table. And a belly-to-belly through the table, face first. Zack Ryder, instant advantage in this match. Hits that flying elbow he's been going for a couple times. The ref is counting, and the Miz is out. Zack Ryder getting the crowd behind him. We've got some woo-woo-woos coming in here. But the Miz takes advantage with a skull-crushing finale, and Ryder never saw it coming. Looks like Ryder may be bleeding a little bit. Miz rolls him over. 1, 2, 3. Yes, that's it. The Miz wins. Ryder puts him through a table, but the Miz gets up, sneaks up on Ryder while he's getting the crowd behind him, and hits him with the skull-crushing finale. Did not see it coming. The Miz steals a victory here that looked like that was Ryder's match to lose, and he did. He lost it. He took advantage. He put the Miz through a table, worked him over outside, and then just put the match down while he was taking time to get crowd support. The Miz gets another big victory, another chance to prove himself as the champion here. There's Ryder, doesn't even see it coming, and gets right into that skull-crushing finale. And the Miz leaves with another victory, and his reign as champion further away from being questioned. But that's going to put us off the air here from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. If you like this episode of NXT, guys, leave a big like on the video and leave it so hard I can feel it where I sit. If you're new here and you like my universe mode and you like FIFA and you like the other things that I play, consider hitting that subscribe button, guys. I'd love to keep you around and tell you some more stories. But either way, we're going to be back next time. Our next program is going to be Superstars. We will see you then. And real quick, guys, before we get out of here, we're just going to show you the Superstars card this week so you know what you're voting for. Again, I'm going to post this in written form on our Reddit, and I will accept votes either in the comments on this video, on Twitter, twitter.com/RauschGames, tweet your vote at me, or in the comments on the Reddit post, which will appear at reddit.com/RauschGames. Follow all those pages, guys. Got important stuff on them. But either way, 5 matches. They're all one fall coming up here. Bruno Sammartino is going to take on Brock Lesnar. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about that. That's going to be awesome. Big E Langston versus Mick Foley. We've seen this one once before. It was Langston's debut match on Raw last month, and he did beat Mick then. CM Punk and The Undertaker. Well, it was WrestleMania last year. We saw it on Superstars a couple weeks ago, and you guys did not vote for it. We got another chance at it here. Undertaker's in a big feud with Wade Barrett right now. CM Punk not really doing much other than appearing on Superstars, and he is very much still employed by the WWE in this universe mode, and he's very happy to be here. Not leaving anytime soon. 4th match, Darren Young, R-Truth. We know all about Darren Young. We know all about him losing. And frankly, he and R-Truth have fought more than their fair share of times here on Superstars. They get another chance at it. And the main event, the Viper, Randy Orton, taking on Stone Cold. We've seen them both on on SmackDown intermittently. We saw Randy Orton. He almost beat Goldberg. He did beat Goldberg heading into Extreme Rules in a main event after Ted DiBiase attacked Goldberg. That was last month. And we just saw Stone Cold lose to Andre the Giant, the new World Heavyweight Champion, last week. They're going to take each other on in what is right now the main event. But your votes will determine which of these 5 matches we play, guys. One more time. Sammartino, Lesnar, Langston, Foley, Punk, Taker, Young, R-Truth, Randy Orton, Stone Cold. You guys tell me what you want to see, and I'll play it, because I'm good that way. I'll see you guys next time.